Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Amalia. I'm a student of Galuh University. In this occasion, I'd like to present my research proposal with the title Improving Student Speaking Ability by Using Princess Sophia Film on the 8th A of SMP and Karangjaya in academic year 2017 and 2018. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in this occasion, I will explain three main points of my slide. First is the chapter 1, this is the introduction. It consists of background of the study, and then research question, and the purpose of the study. And the chapter 2, it's about the literature review, and of course, the last is the chapter 3, it's about the research methodology. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the first point. It's about the background of the study. The background of this research is based on phenomenon that 8A class students of SMP and Karangjaya in the academic year of 2017 or 2018 ability in speaking needs to be improved. Learning a language means using it to communication in oral or written form. Burn and Joyce, 1997, 54 up to 55, state that one of the aims of the most language program is develop spoken language and skills. That's all about the background of the study, and let's move on. Of course, in my research proposal, I have the questions, and this is my research question. First is how was the application of Princess Sophia film in speaking class of a students of SMP and Karangjaya? And the second is how was the speaking ability of AS students in SMP and Karangjaya after being taught by using Princess Sophia film? That's both of my research questions. And of course, in every research, that is the purpose of the study, and my purpose of the study is I have two purpose. I have two purposes. They are first to describe the teaching and narrative speaking using Princess Sophia film that is implemented to improve student speaking skill at AA SMPN Karangjaya. Second is to identify the student speaking ability after being taught using Princess Sophia film. Yes, that's all about the chapter 1, about the introduction, yes, about the background of the study, about the research question, and the purpose of the study. And let's move on to the chapter 2 of my presentation. It's about literature review. Here I have 3 points that I want to explain to you. First is the concept of speaking, the second is type of speaking, and the third or the last is concept of teaching speaking. And yes, first, concept of speaking. Speaking is an activity of delivering message. It occurs between the speaker and the listener orally. In other words, the main point of speaking activity is that speaker communicates their message of the listener. In this case, the speaker and the listener should be able to understand each other. According to Bryan 1984, speaking is oral communication. From the theories above, it can be concluded that speaking is an ability to express idea, feeling, and emotion to other person, and we have the speaker and the listener to make a good communication. And the second is type of speaking. Type of speaking. Brown in 2001 point 250 says that much of one language teaching is devoted to interaction, is mastering English conversation. He classified the type of oral language as a figure below. First, monologue. In monologue consists of planned and unplanned. Second is dialogue, consists of interpersonal and transactional. Brown also provides types of classroom speaking performance. They are One, imitative. Second, intensive. Third, responsive. Four, dialogue. Fifth, interpersonal. And the last are six, extensive. Yes, and let's move on to the third or the last point in literature review. It's about the concept of teaching speaking. Teaching speaking means teaching how to use the language for communication, for transferring data to or even phone to other people. River in 1978 said that speaking is developed from the first contact with the language that we learn, because by speaking we can transfer our idea to other people. And yes, in teaching speaking, the students should be brought to speak English and to show their ideas and their feeling to others or to the listeners. And yes, guys, let's move on to the last chapter. Yes, this is about the chapter 3 of the research methodology. In the research methodology, I will explain three main points. The first, research design. The second is participants. And here I have the research instruments. They are speaking tests and classroom observation checklists. And of course, the last is field notes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the design of this research will use classroom action research. Susanto in 2010 said that classroom action research was a research about implementation of teaching and learning in the classroom. A teacher, from the definition of action research above, it can be concluded that action research is a critical research which is done by the teacher. The researcher will work together with the teacher. So, in this research, the researcher will work together with the teacher to make the research. Yes, guys, and here the teacher is an English teacher of SMPN Karangjaya who had been teaching for 5 years in that school. In this research, the researchers aim to observing the implementation of Princess Sophia film to solve the problem of first speaking ability of the student of 8A SMPN Karangjaya. There are procedures of stage in one cycle. They are plan, action, observe. The media to improve the student's speaking ability is the Princess Sophia film. And the participant, let's move on to the participant class. Yes, to the participant. Yes, the participant of this research is the students of 8A SMPN Karangjaya. And the next point is about the research instruments. Here I have three research instruments. First, speaking test. Second, classroom observation checklist, and field notes. To obtain the required data, it is very crucial for me as the researcher to use the appropriate instrument. The data will collected during the teaching and learning process. In this research, the researcher will use speaking tests, classroom observation, and classroom observation checklist and field notes as the research instrument. First, the speaking test. In each circle, the researcher played the Princess Sophia film and asked the student to retell the story of it in front of the class. The result of speaking, this would be score of student speaking ability. And the score of student speaking ability will the sum score of student speaking fluency, student speaking grammar, student speaking pronunciation, and student speaking performance. And second, about the classroom observation checklist and field notes. classroom observation checklist will use to gather all information concerning the teaching and learning process in every meeting. There will be four criteria that we'll observe. There are teachers' activity, students' activity, method use, and media uses. The researcher will use the data from the classroom observation checklist and field note to describe the process of teaching speaking by using films Princess Sophia. And next, the researcher start is by using film in meeting. Student fluency, grammar, pronunciation, and performance score to the table. After all scores had been stored in the table, the researcher measured the score of speaking ability of its students. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is about my uh, research proposal. There are three main points that I have been explained to you. First is the chapter 1, that is considered an introduction, consists of background of the study, research question, and the purpose of the study. And the second is the chapter 2, that is it is about the literature review, and the second about the chapter 3, research methodology. Okay, class, thank you very much for your happy watching on my video. The last I said, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.